fall, we planted tulips in our edible landscape. Now, when we think of edible flowers, tulips are perhaps not the first thing that comes to mind, but the petals are in fact edible. They make great additions to salads, and you can also use them like crackers for dips and spreads. Now, some people are allergic to tulips, so you want to keep that in mind and never eat any kind of flower that's been treated with a pesticide. Now, tulips that are fragrant tend to have more of a flavor, and that can range from something bean-like to more of a lettuce taste. So you want to sniff and smell your flowers and give them a little test taste to find the most flavorful. In our landscape, we have the cultivars Princess Irene, we have the red Appledorn, and Apricot Emperor. Barbara Brown has been experimenting with our tulips to find a wonderful recipe.
We often don't think about eating flowers, even though we regularly do in the form of broccoli and cauliflower where we eat the buds. But today we're actually going to eat the blooms. And so I've gone out to the garden and picked some of the tulips from the area. And you can see I've got different colors and different varieties. And what you want to do when you do this, if you have different types out in your garden, is you want to pull off one of the petals and taste it. And taste it from this end as opposed to the center end, because the center end can be a little bit bitter. You're just going to pull off the leaves, wash them real gently to make sure you get the dirt and everything off of them, and then pull the leaves off and leave the center. You also want to be real careful that the tulips that you're choosing are those that are grown organically, that have not been treated with herbicides, pesticides, or anything else that may have blown in whether you treated them or not. And don't use the bulbs. I did check with the Poison Control Center, and they did advise against the bulbs because there have been some cases of illness as a result, with pets also. So once you get them cleaned off, you've tasted them, they taste different, so make sure you take a bite of the different ones and find out which ones you like. We're going to use about half a cup to a cup. It's not real critical. And I have about 8 cups of salad greens here. And the salad is very, very basic. If you're going to do something that's got as much color and it's as spectacular as making a tulip salad, you want to make sure that you are going to be giving that the focus. So we're going to make a real basic vinaigrette to go with this, and just get a jar with a nice tight screw top lid, perhaps one of your canning jars as I've done here, and I've got 1.5 teaspoons, excuse me, of green onion. You could use shallot, but green onion will work just fine if that's what you've got in your garden. Chop that up really finely. I've got the same amount, 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. See if we can get most of that into the jar there. About 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice, make sure it's fresh, and 1.5 teaspoons of sherry vinegar. Now, if you don't have sherry vinegar, you could use wine vinegar, you can use whichever vinegar you have, but you don't want something that's really sharp like a distilled white vinegar, because it's really going to draw away from the taste that you have in your salad. So it's not the best choice for salad making. And lastly, I'm going to pour in some vinegar. Now, the ratio traditionally for vinegar and oil is about 4 parts to 1 part. More oil than vinegar, and that gives you a better blend on the salad. You also want to make sure that your salad leaves are spectacularly dry, or this is all going to drain to the bottom and you're going to lose it all. Now, once you get this mixed up, you want to check it to make sure that the flavorings are right. You may find that you need a little bit more lemon juice or vinegar or salt or pepper, but you don't just want to take a spoon and taste it, because it's not going to give you a true picture of how it tastes. So get a little piece of the greens and dip that in there, and then take a bite of that. That's nice. It's got a nice amount of salt, just enough. We don't want to overpower, but it also has a good mix of lemon juice, vinegar, and olive oil. At this point, you have an option. You can come over and toss your salad to mix everything together and put the dressing on so that it gets well coated, or you can put just a little on the salad and put the rest on the side. Remember, the more salad dressing that you put on here, the heavier the leaves are going to get. So just blend that together really well. We want to make sure that all the leaves have some of the dressing on them. but you want to be able to have people taste that there are differences between these terrific tulip petals as well. This makes about 6 to 8 servings. It's called tulip salad. And for the final touch, I'm going to actually put one of these beautiful tulips in here, just as decoration. Again, this is Tulip Salad for Oklahoma Gardening. I'm Barbara Brown.